I found out my wife was cheating when our 6-year-old daughter told Santa she wanted Mark to be her new dad for Christmas. Then the DNA test results I opened on Christmas morning made my wife realize she lost our family forever and now she is begging for a second chance. It's amazing how fast a perfect life can fall apart. 1 minute, you're living what seems like a dream, beautiful wife, adorable daughter, successful career, house in the suburbs. The next, you're watching your 6-year-old unknowingly reveal your wife's affair to a shopping mall Santa Claus. I met Emily in college 10 years ago. She was studying elementary education, I was in my final year of medical school. We connected instantly, both from small towns, both dreaming of building a life bigger than our humble beginnings. We dated for 2 years before getting married, and our daughter Lucy came along a year later. We built what I thought was a perfect life. I became a pediatric surgeon at the city's top children's hospital. Emily taught first grade at a private school. We bought a beautiful house in a great school district. Lucy was thriving, smart, happy, already reading at a 3rd grade level. Every night, we'd have dinner as a family, sharing stories about our day. Every weekend was filled with Lucy's activities, soccer games, dance recitals, play dates. Looking back, there were signs I chose to ignore. Emily started working late more often, claiming she had to prepare for parent-teacher conferences or grade papers. She joined a gym but never seemed to lose any weight. Her phone was always face down, and she changed her password from our anniversary date to a fingerprint lock. But I trusted her completely. We'd been through so much together, the long hours of my residency, a difficult pregnancy with Lucy, the death of Emily's father last year. She was my best friend, my partner, the mother of my child. I never imagined she could betray that trust. Then came the Santa visit that changed everything. It was December 15th, just 10 days before Christmas. I'd taken Lucy to the mall to do some holiday shopping. Emily was supposedly at a teacher development workshop, so it was just daddy-daughter day. Lucy was excited to visit Santa, clutching her carefully written wish list. I stood off to the side with the other parents, phone ready to take pictures. Lucy sat on Santa's lap, beaming with excitement. Santa asked his usual questions. Had she been good this year? What would she like for Christmas? Lucy pulled out her list and started reading. Dear Santa, this year I want a new bike, art supplies, and... She paused, looking around conspiratorially before whispering something in Santa's ear. Santa's jolly expression faltered for just a moment. He glanced at me, then back at Lucy. Are you sure that's what you want, sweetheart? Lucy nodded enthusiastically. Yes. Mommy says Daddy Mark makes her really happy, and if he becomes my new daddy, maybe she'll smile all the time like she does when she comes home from their special friend dates. The world stopped. Parents nearby fell silent. The teenager dressed as an elf looked everywhere but at me. And there was my daughter, innocent and smiling, unknowingly destroying my entire world with her pure, honest wish. I somehow kept it together. Thanked Santa, took Lucy for ice cream, acted normal through the rest of our shopping. My mind was racing. Who was Mark? How long had this been going on? How had I been so blind? When we got home, Lucy ran to show Emily her pictures with Santa. I watched my wife's face as our daughter excitedly recounted her visit, waiting for the moment. And I told Santa my special wish about Daddy Mark. Emily's face went white. She looked at me with panic in her eyes, but I just turned and walked away. I couldn't deal with it then. Not in front of Lucy. After Lucy went to bed, Emily tried to explain. Mark was a parent of one of her students. Recently divorced, he'd started volunteering at school events. They'd grown close over the past few months. It started as just coffee after parent-teacher meetings, then lunches, then, more. It didn't mean anything, she insisted, crying. I was just feeling lonely, unappreciated. Mark paid attention to me, made me feel special. Unappreciated? I thought about all the nights I'd come home exhausted from 12-hour surgeries but still cooked dinner so she could finish her lesson plans. The weekends I took Lucy to her activities so Emily could have me time. The vacation I'd planned for her birthday, the surprise parties, the little notes I left in her lunch bag. I didn't yell. Didn't curse. Just asked one question, does Lucy spend time with him? Emily's silence was answer enough. While I was saving other people's children at the hospital, my wife had been letting another man play daddy to our daughter. I slept in the guest room that night. The next morning, I called my lawyer before heading to work. In my office, I ordered a DNA test kit. A horrible suspicion had taken root. Lucy was born just 11 months after our wedding. What if? Emily kept trying to talk to me. Said she'd ended things with Mark weeks ago, realized it was a mistake. Swore Lucy was mine, that she'd never betray me that deeply. Promised to go to counseling, to make things right. I barely heard her. Just focused on getting through the days until Christmas, maintaining normalcy for Lucy's sake. The DNA test kit arrived. I swabbed Lucy's cheek while brushing her teeth, swabbed my own after she went to bed. Express processing, results promised by Christmas Eve. The next week was surreal. We went through the motions of holiday preparations. Decorated the tree, wrapped presents, baked cookies. Emily watched me with desperate eyes, trying to talk whenever Lucy wasn't around. I ignored her, focused on our daughter's excitement about Santa's upcoming visit. Christmas Eve, we hosted our annual family dinner. Emily's parents, my mom, our siblings and their kids. Everyone noticed the tension, but nobody said anything. We'd always been the perfect couple, nobody wanted to acknowledge the cracks in that image. After everyone left, Emily helped Lucy put out cookies for Santa. I watched them from the doorway, wondering if it would be our last Christmas together as a family. The DNA results were sitting in my email, unopened. I wanted to wait until morning, one last night of pretending everything was normal. Lucy went to bed dreaming of presents. Emily went to our room, where she'd been sleeping alone all week. I sat in my study staring at the email notification, fighting the urge to open it early. Around midnight, Emily came in. She looked like she hadn't slept in days. "Please," she whispered. "Can we talk?" I opened my laptop and clicked the email. Update 1. The results hit me like a physical blow. Lucy was my biological daughter, but the test had revealed something else. A rare genetic marker that can cause serious heart problems in early adolescence. Emily saw my face change. "What is it? Is she yours?" I barely heard her. My mind was racing through years of medical training, identifying risks, necessary tests, potential treatments. Lucy needed to be screened immediately. The condition was manageable if caught early, fatal if missed. "She's mine," I said finally. "But we need to get her to the hospital. Now." I explained about the genetic marker. Emily started crying, this time from fear rather than guilt. We woke Lucy gently, told her Santa had asked us to take her on a special Christmas adventure. The hospital was quiet on Christmas Eve. My colleagues didn't ask questions when I brought my daughter in at midnight for extensive cardiac testing. They knew me, trusted my judgment. Emily sat silently in the corner while I explained everything to the cardiologist. Hours of tests revealed Lucy was already showing early signs of the condition. She'd need medication, regular monitoring, possibly surgery before she reached her teens. If we hadn't caught it now. Walking back to the car at dawn, Emily broke down completely. "I almost threw this away," she sobbed. "You're an amazing father, an incredible doctor, and I risked our daughter's life because I was selfish." She told me everything on the drive home. Mark had made her feel young and exciting again. Being a teacher's wife and mother had started feeling boring compared to his stories about traveling the world as a business consultant. He'd praise her looks, laugh at her jokes, text her constantly, all the little things I'd stopped doing while focused on my career and Lucy's activities. But he never asked about Lucy's day, she continued. Never remembered her favorite foods or helped with her homework. When she scraped her knee at the park, he just stood there awkwardly while I handled it. That's when I started realizing what I was risking. She'd ended things with Mark in November, but Lucy had already grown attached to him during their secret friend dates at the park. Emily hadn't known how to explain to our daughter that Mark wouldn't be around anymore. "I was going to tell you everything," she insisted. "I'd already booked us couples counseling for January." Then Lucy made that wish to Santa. We got home just as Christmas dawn was breaking. Lucy was exhausted but excited to see presents under the tree. Emily's parents were arriving at 10 for breakfast. My mom would be there for lunch. We had 6 hours to decide the future of our family. I asked Emily to give me space to think. Went to my study while she helped Lucy open presents. Through the door, I could hear our daughter's excited squeals, Emily's forced cheerfulness. My phone buzzed, a text from Mark. Emily told me everything. "I'm sorry, man. I didn't know about your daughter's condition. For what it's worth, I ended things when I realized how much she really loves you. She talked about you constantly, your dedication to your patients, your love for Lucy. I was just an escape fantasy. You're her reality." I sat there for a long time, listening to my wife and daughter's voices, staring at Mark's text. 10 years of marriage. A child who needed both parents focused on her health. A wife who'd made a terrible mistake but seemed to genuinely regret it. Could I forgive her? More importantly, could I trust her again? Update 2. The next few months were a blur of hospital visits, therapy sessions, and difficult conversations. Lucy's condition required careful management, daily medication, dietary changes, activity restrictions. Emily took a leave of absence from teaching to focus on her care. I adjusted my surgery schedule to handle her appointments. We started marriage counseling twice a week. Slowly, painfully, we unpacked years of unspoken resentments and misplaced priorities. Emily confronted her need for external validation, her fear of being just a wife and mother. I acknowledged how my focus on career success had made me emotionally distant. The hardest part was watching Emily deal with the consequences of her actions. She lost friends when the truth came out, other teachers, school parents who'd known about the affair but kept her secret. Her principal quietly suggested she transfer to another school to avoid awkwardness. Her own mother didn't speak to her for weeks, devastated that she'd risked her marriage and potentially Lucy's health. But Emily fought for our family. She went to individual therapy, joined a support group for people rebuilding trust in relationships. She handled Lucy's medical care with fierce dedication, researching the condition extensively, coordinating with specialists, never missing a dose of medication. Mark left town, taking a job in another state. Before he left, he sent Emily one final email, which she shared with me immediately. "I hope you realize what you almost lost. Your husband isn't perfect, but he's the kind of man who checks his daughter's DNA not to prove paternity, but because he was worried about her health. That's real love." Lucy's condition stabilized with treatment. During one of her checkups, my colleague pulled me aside. "If you hadn't caught this when you did. We usually don't see these cases until there's a cardiac event. You saved her life." I shared this with Emily that night. She broke down completely. "I risked everything, our marriage, our daughter's life, for something meaningless. I'll spend the rest of my life trying to make up for it. Watching her with Lucy, I could see she meant it. The old Emily had been focused on appearances, on proving she was more than just a teacher's wife. The new Emily was focused on what really mattered: our daughter's health, rebuilding our family's trust, fixing what she'd broken. Update 3. A year has passed since that Christmas Eve hospital visit. Lucy is doing well, her last 3 checkups have been perfect. She's back to modified activities, playing soccer with a heart monitor, taking dance classes with extra breaks. She doesn't remember much about Daddy Mark, and we've decided to explain the complicated chapter of our lives when she's older. Emily returned to teaching, but at a different school. She's channeled her experience into something positive, starting a support group for families dealing with children's chronic health conditions. The other parents don't know her full story, but they see her dedication, her understanding of how precious family bonds are. Our marriage isn't perfect, but it's real now. No more pretending, no more unspoken resentments. We've learned to communicate honestly, to appreciate what we have instead of chasing external validation. Date nights are simpler, takeout and movies at home instead of fancy restaurants, but more meaningful. Last week, Emily found her old phone in a drawer. Reading through her messages with Mark made her physically ill. "I don't recognize that person," she said. "Someone so willing to risk everything for cheap compliments and temporary excitement." The hardest lesson was realizing that some things can't be undone. Friends we've lost haven't come back. Emily's relationship with her mother is still strained. There are moments when the pain of betrayal resurfaces, when trust has to be consciously rebuilt. But there are also moments of grace. Yesterday, I came home early and overheard Emily talking to Lucy's after-school playdate mom. "I almost lost everything that mattered because I forgot what real love looks like. It's not about excitement or romance, it's about someone who'll wake up at midnight on Christmas Eve to take your daughter to the hospital. Someone who'll fight for your family even when you don't deserve it." This Christmas will be different. No big family gathering, just the 3 of us, focusing on what matters. Lucy's wish list for Santa is simpler too. "Dear Santa, I want to feel good enough to play soccer all the time, and for Mommy and Daddy to keep smiling at each other like they do now." Emily cried when she read it. "Last year, I thought I wanted more excitement in my life. Now I realize that true happiness is watching our daughter play soccer and knowing we caught her condition in time. It's family dinner and homework help and silly bedtime stories." She looked at me with tears in her eyes. "I know I don't deserve forgiveness. What I did was unforgivable. But I promise to spend the rest of my life being worthy of this second chance." Sometimes life's hardest lessons come disguised as catastrophes. A child's innocent wish to Santa revealed a painful truth. A DNA test ordered out of suspicion ended up saving our daughter's life. A marriage nearly destroyed by infidelity was rebuilt stronger, with real understanding of what love truly means. Emily's moment of weakness could have destroyed everything. Instead, it forced us to confront what really matters. Not excitement or romance or external validation. Just family, trust, and the quiet miracle of having people worth fighting for. This Christmas, we'll put out cookies for Santa like always. But our real celebration will be another clean cardiac checkup, another day of our daughter's laughter, another chance to appreciate the life we almost lost, and the love that was strong enough to survive betrayal.